Hello, Sagittarius North Node. This is your reading for the new moon of September 2021. So we're going September 2021 to October 2021. And we're going to look at the energies that are at play for you during this time. I'm going to start with the universal energies. If you need more info on your Sagittarius North Node, it is below in the description box. Okay, Sagittarius North Node. The first card we have here is Ascension. We have Doves. Chenrizi Manifestation. And Rebirth. So with the Ascension card, I'm seeing that you're like seriously leveling up and expanding at this time. For some of you, this may be quite uncomfortable, but it also, I always see like two hemispheres of the brain when I see this card, and it often to me, especially when we're talking about the North Node and the South Node, it's this kind of merging or coming together of your, let's say, the strengths that you display in your comfort zone and the potential for expansion when you get out of your comfort zone, which is basically, to me, South Nodes, what South Node and North Node are. And so in your universal energies right now, I'm seeing great, ascension energy, expansion energy, great potential for expansion on many levels, in all levels of your life, actually. And with the Doves, I see, I pulled this card up with this one because of the two hemispheres kind of here of the brain, and these two doves coming together and swirling to this unified point. And so I'm seeing like there being coming to being at peace with these two sides not being in conflict, but rather living in a peaceful harmony. So this card with the doves, I see harmony. I see two extremes being moderated, meeting in the middle, and actually being both sides of it being something better because they've found some type, they have found some type of balance with the other side. You know, sometimes when the messages just come in, like they don't really care about grammar. So, like, yeah. Your equal yet opposite sign, Sagittarius North Node. So if you have a Sagittarius North Node, you have a Gemini South Node. And I just did Gemini North Node before your reading. And they also had this card, Chenrizi Manifestation, which is about, expecting joy, expecting good outcomes, and manifesting those outcomes through your positive thoughts and actions. And then we'll have the rebirth. So I see some crazy potential for expansion in your universal energies, and they're reaching out to you in like wanting you to keep your thoughts positive in the whole process, and not letting any naysayers or people who don't believe, because you're meant for big things. Like Sagittarius North Node is almost like a prophet of sorts, like not to make anyone's head big, but there's definitely something world changing, or at least changing someone's world, you know, with what you do. But it requires you to expand. And Sagittarius is like, it's a lot of learning. It's this quest for universal knowledge, just learning for the sake of learning. So in the North Node, you're being asked to like learn with, just because knowledge is out there to be had, you know. You have a natural tendency to expansion, or because we are talking about the North Node, you found that you have had lots of opportunities to expand that you did not take, right? And so, or that you do not take because it's uncomfortable. But the universe is still keeping them out there, keeping that energy around you, because your soul wants it. Your soul wants to reach for it, right? So I'm going to go look at your 5D energy. And I'm sorry if the table gets shaky, because my camera is actually, the arm is actually attached to my table. So when I bump the table, the whole thing shakes. We're going to pull some 5D energy now. This one, consciousness. So this is the sacred, I blended 2 stacks together of these lawns, sacred geometry activations, and the sacred geometry of relationships. So some cards in here are doubled. Definitely the numbers are doubled sometimes, or throughout the whole deck. So don't be surprised if you see 2 number 11s or 2 number 44s. Okay. It's always interesting when the same cards come up for either side of the pole of the nodes. Yeah. And the third eye chakra. All right. So we have consciousness, authority, divine feminine, dynamic, heart chakra, and third eye chakra. So what I'm getting here, so you're the Gemini North Node. I don't want to keep talking about them, but the Gemini North Node also got divine feminine and heart chakra. So obviously that's a theme on this pole. I see the South Node and the North Node as, yeah, 2 extremes of the same, like they're on the same spectrum. They're just 2 extremes of the same spectrum. So they're mirroring each other. So I actually should not be surprised at all when I see the same cards, because you're dealing with the same energies in different ways. So if this is a heart-centered type of energy, but in your case, it's heart awareness and allowing. It's allowing your rebirth. Where does the divine feminine come into that? Receiving. In this case, it's about receiving. And I'm getting with the authority and the dynamic card that basically, your expansion is your own, and there's going to be a lot of people who just don't understand it. Now, you don't have to be arrogant about it. If you feel deeply in your heart that you're destined for big things, or that bigger than where you are, it just is. And sometimes you can't tell nobody that, because they will actively try to block you. No one can without your permission, but I mean, it just makes your life easier if they're just not even trying, right? So, and dynamic is like, be in dynamic and consciousness. I'm getting the awareness that your life can be much more than it is, and allowing it to be dynamic, allowing the different aspects of yourself to live. So one of the Sagittarius North nodes that come up in my mind is Angelina Jolie, who, was famous actress, Hollywood, but she gets a lot of her fulfillment from her volunteer work. And, for sure, if you just think of that situation, for sure you have people who are like, oh, these stars, they just want people to see them in a certain light, or they think they can save the world, blah, blah, blah. So there's people who don't look at that in a positive light, where it's like, even if she's doing it for all of those reasons, there's still people in the world benefiting from her, whatever her intentions are, right? And it doesn't necessarily have to minimize the value of the work she does. However, what she's feeling inside herself, I don't really follow any celebrities whatsoever. So, but it can very well be that she feels more balanced in her life and more fulfilled, because there are aspects of herself that were not being fed and being allowed to thrive in just the box that people were trying to put her in, like pouty lips, actress, blah, blah, blah. And they try to attribute characteristics to you for being that. I'm getting someone like who also may have a blue collar job, works in a factory. Trades is no longer, at least in North America, a low paid job, but people still have this thing about, people still attribute personality traits to people who work with their hands, for example, the same way they do for artists, the same way they do for bankers. It's just like something that we've done for a long time to each other. It's like you look at the external, you look at people's jobs and make judgments about who they are, right? Not the best way to go about life, but it's just a reality of our current society. And so with dynamic and consciousness, I'm seeing that, you have to allow yourself to be a multifaceted person and not be limited by what people think of you because you already have a certain standing or already do something that comes with a whole bunch of stereotypes around it, whatever those stereotypes may be. Could also be your ethnicity or your sex. I'm getting here, the third eye chakra, because all of this is coming down to you from the divine. Like, there would not be ascension energy, and they're not sending you what it is that you need to know, or the energies that you need, the information and activations that you need to expand. So whatever it is that you are interested in learning or interested in experiencing is not, coming out of left field. It's being sent to you so that parts of yourself that right now don't have a place to fit in, that don't have an outlet, so that they can have that outlet, because you're meant to be an expansive being. That's you. Not everyone is on that path in this lifetime. Doesn't mean that they're on anything any more or any less than you, right? But you are definitely meant to have certain aspects of yourself coexist that other people right now in their lifetime will not get to experience. And so just go into that knowing that there's going to be people who don't want you to have all of that, because of how it makes them feel about their own lives. Let's go on to the 3D energy, because I'm starting to get down into that already with the messages that are coming from Spirit. Thank you so much, angels and spirit guides, ancestors, and divine beings who are guiding this reading. And I have some more insight into Sagittarius North Node's 3D conditions during the September new moon heading into the October new moon. We have Temperance in reverse. I'm seeing white. I'm hearing the word forgiveness. Like white light, white flowers, white dress. Someone getting married to someone who wants to limit them. That's the question. You have the moon that came out. Point this out before I keep going. So we have, see, I said, her dress is kind of more pink than white, but it's also just the shading of the picture, and the white flowers. So I saw wedding for somebody. And I mean, I'm sorry to say, I'm sorry if this is the situation that somebody is in, but there's someone out there who is knowingly entering a high level commitment with someone who is limiting their expansion. Maybe not to be, there's a lot of reverse cards in here. Not that that's bad. So let me just continue that thought there. There's someone who is making a high level commitment to somebody out of a feeling of obligation, or out of a fear to maybe not find a partner, or from pressure from outside. This person is not, they are for your highest good, in the sense that, like, yeah, you may have to do something very uncomfortable. And if you're saying to yourself, I'm just going to go through with the wedding, and if I get divorced, I'm going to get divorced, I'm not going to tell you what to do. I can't, the spirit guides never tell you what to do. It's just, it will be a deep dive for you. You'll come out fine on the end. You'll come out fine on the end. This could be a male or a female. It's not, just because I saw the dress, it's not gender specific, and it's not Western culture specific, because it's a signal to me for the story that I have to tell. So you could be marrying in a sari, or you could be doing a goth wedding, but someone out there is definitely making a commitment that is not going to serve them I shouldn't say not serve them in the long run, because every lesson is worth learning. That it challenges your expansion, right? I'm going to leave that energy there and talk to some other people about how this energy is filtering down to their 3-day every day. So we have Temperance in reverse. Some of you are also not connecting to your spirit guides. Some of you are ignoring them. And I don't know why you would do such a thing, but they're saying you're doing such a thing because you feel like you're, well, nutty. For lack I just, sometimes it just makes me laugh so hard. So, you know, either you think you're nutty or people are saying you're nutty. So the moon is like, you know, shadow. It's not, I won't say shadow self. It's not always shadow. People love the term shadow work nowadays. And it's important, yes, but the moon is also just like like it's sitting right here across from the divine feminine. The moon is feminine and the sun is masculine. The moon is kind of feeling and passive, even though people have a negative reaction to the word passive, and the sun is active, you know, but there's no reason to think of passive as negative, because when you think about it, you don't see plants, you know, getting up and going for a walk to the well to collect water. Like, they just sit there in the ground, let their roots spread, and wait to absorb. That's what they do. So, you know, the Tower in reverse, I see, I like it in reverse because this person isn't falling. It looks like they're trying to reach for something. That's what I see, like they're floating up. I see some delaying of the inevitable because you're striving for your this, because you feel that coming, but some of you, there's someone you don't want to disappoint, is what I'm getting. And it's just, I'm getting that the karma is just being delayed in this. And, you know, Justice also has the moon. Granted, this is the Moonchild Tarot. There's the moon on several cards, but that's not the point. The point is that there's this calling that is just the calling of your subconscious that is just being suppressed. Yes, some of you it's marriage. Some of you it's something less dramatic. Fine. Some of you it feels equally as dramatic, you know, as canceling a wedding a week before. Right, or 2 weeks before. So I see, in a nutshell, getting down to, let me explain this spread to you, because this is my first time around on YouTube. Woohoo! And this spread is also new to me. So let me explain to you how this is going. We have here the universal energies on the outside. So let's just say, however you want to understand it, the energy that's coming directly from source, from the divine, the highest frequency energies on your path at the moment. How this works is all of these energies are just being filtered down into your reality, your 3D reality. So in the 5D In this circle, we have the 5D. It goes this way. In this circle, we have the 5D energy, all these sacred geometry cards. Your higher self speaking to you, synchronicities, and so forth. And then here is your 3D energy, which is like really what is really physically most tangibly showing up in your environment. So what I see showing up in your environment is this persistent calling for you to the word stand up for yourself is one. Assert yourself. And like bust past any boundaries and limitations that people are putting on you. That is what I'm getting. Like the moon is upright. Your subconscious self, your inner self, your inner desires, and then you have all of these reverse energies of being slowed down. And it's not in your internal environment, so it's not like self-limiting beliefs or anything like that. It is really your external environment. That's what I'm getting. However, like this is meant to be like this, right? So something that is predestined is just being slowed down. So I'm going to ask now how we can bridge the 3D and the 5D on that. Okay, there we go. Start there at the top. I went this way, so we're going to go that way. You got the moon card again. 4 of Cups. Four of Swords in reverse. Oops. We have 2 cards in which way? This way. Okay. Okay. I just have to see if these are which way direction these are supposed to be. Okay, this way. So we have the Ace of Wands is in reverse, they say. Okay, Ace of Wands in reverse and the 3 of Cups is upright. All right. Oh. So how can we bridge these energies? How can we act? What can we do? The moon, you got the moon a second time. 4 of Cups. 4 of Swords in reverse. Okay. Well, the moon for me in this position is simply saying, like, you need to really shine light on your inner desires and bring them out of the shadows, for yourself. They need to become part of your everyday. And the 4 of Cups is like looking at what you will gain, and not spending too much time mourning what you lost. they don't want me to say that in the present tense because they know that you haven't necessarily made that move yet, a lot of you. So when you are thinking of acting, don't think of what you will lose, think of what you will gain. They want you to engage in some very good self-care. Regular self-care. And then we have the Ace of Wands in reverse. And the Three of Cups. Okay. It'll be really great if you have a circle of friends that support you. And in this case, like, they don't want you to care about, like, oh, I want a friend who's objective and can see things from, like, no. They just want you to be around people who say, like, hey, that's you, that sounds so you, that feels so you, I just want you to be happy. That's the people that they want around you. And you see, like, the third eye chakra is purple, the Three of Cups is purple, and you have a lot of purple in this card too, the Ace of Wands in reverse, which I'll get to in a moment. But it's like they want you to communicate with people, to be supported by people who just know you, like inner knowing, deep inner knowing of who you are, so that, like, their opinion is not based on, well, if you do this, you know, this is going to be the consequence and whatever. It's like, no. they want, and so this Ace of Wands in reverse to me is, you know, in the upright it would be a gift from the universe in terms of, you know, inspired action, or a boost forward, like a new opportunity, or a helping hand that helps you take the next step forward. Ace of Wands in reverse to me in this sense is, especially because of the way this particular Ace of Wands is drawn, I see it being that spark can only come from you, and that's why you kind of need people who reinforce your inner spark. If that makes sense. Yeah, I think it makes sense. I hope it makes sense to you. Right? Because that's all that is being, that's all that's missing. That's all that they're waiting for, is for you to give the go-ahead for the universe to work in your favor and for the rebirth to happen. The only person who's stopping the rebirth really is you. And I don't want to oversimplify that by saying that all these decisions that you have to make are easy, because the situations that you're facing are, you know, trying, or you may disappoint someone or give up something that a lot of people see as, you know, a golden opportunity or something. But it's and in some cases you're not giving up anything. Like, people are just making you think you're going to have to give up something, but you don't have to give up anything. There's no reason that all of these things in you cannot coexist. There's absolutely no reason for it. You are meant to have it all. Okay, we have the Geomancer in reverse, which is the, I believe, if I remember by memory, it's the mirror card is the King of Pentacles, I do believe. I'll double check that though. 10 of Birds. The 10 of Swords. You got the vultures there. And then we have the 2 of Lotuses, which is the 2 of Cups. And then we have 2 kind of bonus cards in the deck, the Gift and strawberries. Okay, let me just double check for you and me. The Geomancer. The Geomancer is the Queen of Pentacles, not the King. So good that I checked. Geomancer is the Queen of Pentacles, but nevertheless, she's in reverse. So what I'm looking at with these cards here is kind of the soul memory energies, past life energies that are affecting the situation in this 4-week period. So I'm seeing a story of somebody who was a figurehead, so was meant to make the decisions, or at least in the public eye was the one making the decisions, but actually didn't. So behind the scenes they were being controlled by a lot of people. So I see a political career here, and it ate away at confidence to make decisions, because nobody, especially like if I'm, the feminine energy doesn't necessarily mean that the gender was male or female in that time, but I'm getting strong female energy whose authority or thought process, ability to discern was questioned and compromised by all of these vultures who lived off of your wealth and or prestige, and it ate away at you. This could have very well been a love situation. Could have been because of who you married. I'm also getting a strong story of self-worth. And we have here, remember that self-care is important. So I'm also seeing here that okay, what I am seeing here is that your self-worth was only inside of the relationship, really. And to have that relationship, you kind of surrendered your intellectual value, although you were very, very smart. I know it seems that I couldn't tell this particular story for a collective, a reading that's not for a general reading, like that it wouldn't apply to more than one person, but this story can play out in so many different ways, on different continents, in different eras, and different stratas of society. So and then so yes, it applies to, I'm getting that it applies to quite a few of you. So what I'm getting is the gift and strawberries. Okay, so I'm getting that there was a gift that you had to ignore in order to enjoy the sweetness of life. And you're in a similar situation now. There's a gift that you don't want to ignore, but because you think that life would be sweeter if you stay where you are, and fulfill the obligations that you've already kind of laid out for yourself. But you're given the opportunity to actually enjoy that gift, and there will be more awaiting you if you do accept. Okay, I'm going to pull Your last 2 oracle cards for this reading. This is from the Enchanted Map by Oracle by Colette Baron Reid, and I will also take from the Oracle of the 7 Energies, also by Colette Baron Reid. Oh, she gave you 2. Okay. Wishing Well, card number 48. Into Me I See, card number 8, and Call of the Muse, card 31. So, I just wanted to reinforce, because I feel like I didn't finish my sentence properly. Maybe the thoughts were moving too quickly. The gift over here. You know, you had this gift in both the past life and in this life, but this life you're given the opportunity to actually enjoy the gift. And forgive me if I did already say that. Sometimes it's like I have absolutely no recollection when I'm experiencing a story, experiencing the information that they want to give me, because it's never in words, it's like in pictures and feelings. So then I just like leave. I just leave, and whatever gets recorded, and then I'm even surprised sometimes at what I said. So let's see. Let's read card number 48. Wishing Well. It's in the upright. So I'm going to read the description from the book, and if any other input comes in from your spirit team or the guides or the angels while I'm reading, then I will let you know once I'm done. Wishing Well. Desire is the sacred impulse for life. Ooh, I like that already. Feel it, but let go of all attachment to ownership. Desire is the most important impulse for creating life. Now you're seeing the relationship between desire and inspiration, and sensing that moment of truth when you feel the inception of new life. It is an aha moment when everything makes sense. Perhaps you recognize a soulmate, or are conceiving a baby or an idea. The Wishing Well card awakens you to the presence of unseen forces that enable new beginnings. Divine intelligence activates the field of possibilities where new life is co-created in a magical way. Neither you nor anyone else can know how or why this happens. It just does. To that end, you can't control the process of growth. Rather, you must step aside to be a channel for higher forces, and relinquish any attachment to how this new creation should appear or when. Form your intention and take action by dropping the coin into the wishing well. Then trust in spirit. Prepare to be amazed. So they want me to bring your attention back to, okay, this card is like, well, underneath here, but Temperance in reverse. Also, shoot, I'm bending the edge. Okay. There. Temperance in reverse here also is this signifies that you don't have enough trust in your spirit team. You know, and that came up in the in your oracle. That you need to trust in spirit. You know, they are sending you messages, they are sending you gifts. And yeah, you can lean into it. You can lean into their support. Because it's justice in reverse. It's just the destiny that you are prolonging. It's a destiny you are prolonging. Yeah. Let's see, number 8. Into Me I See. This is from the Oracle of the Seven Energies. So let's see. Number 8. Into me I see. Intimacy, trust in another, dropping shields and rigid boundaries to allow connection, the willingness to be vulnerable. At certain precious moments, you're called into a deep and meaningful connection with the world or another person. A magical affinity arises with the kind of intimacy that in turn encourages a greater understanding of yourself. The relationship acts as a mirror, helping you see your own patterns. What it reflects about you can further your own personal evolution. Now is the time to take a risk by connecting with another. Can you see how far you've come? Can you see what is still active within you that needs to change or heal? You will discover more about who you are as you discover more about another. Even if you cannot possibly know what it's truly like to be in someone else's shoes, you can listen and learn. This is a magical gift being offered to you right now. This concept applies beyond romantic connection. What do the dynamics in your closest friendships, work relationships, and family say about you? Relationships are extraordinary opportunities for healing. When predicated on honesty and caring, they have a great impact on how you contribute to the world. Intimate relationships hold up a mirror of truth and reveal more treasures than you might ever expect. If you look into it, take a risk and see everything as beautiful, even in its imperfections. Imagine how deep you could go. So we have here back to your Three of Cups. They want to express that, yes, they want you to look at who you keep around you and what that says about you and your comfort zone. Can you use that information that you gather from looking at your closest friends and relationships, who you choose to hang out with at work and such? Can you find out more about yourself? It's not necessarily a bad thing. Don't just look for, I hang out with people who like fashion, so I only care about how I look or something like that. There's nothing wrong with fashion, number one. Just to be clear about that. But you may also find that you may be a banker who hangs out with a lot of artists. And doesn't that say something about you in terms of your creativity or your need to express yourself? So that's what they're asking you to do with that card. And the last one, we have Call of the Muse, number 31. Okay. Call of the Muse, creative expression, being in the flow of creativity, tuning into inspiration, allowing creativity without being self-conscious, writing and journaling as a means of connection. When you feel the call of the Muse, you are invited to create. When you feel the call of the Muse, you are being invited to create, to be the artist choreographing your life, serving on behalf of the great artist, Divine Source. While the process feels intensely personal, your ego and self-identification are, ironically, the most unnecessary parts of the equation. While you might think you own the magic of your creativity, can you truly say you're the source of inspiration? Similar to the spirit of genius from card 29, imagine your creativity stemming from another spirit guide, the Muse. Just as the genius needs to partner with your intellect, so does the Muse need you to open your heart and let magic flow through your intuition and emotions. Stop seeing yourself as the center of the process and instead see yourself as a partner in a creative dance. Sometimes you might be inside the music and the feelings, the story, and its expressions. Other times you observe from the sidelines, watching it all flow from an unknown yet deeply intimate source. Today your Muse is calling you to be a channel and allow the creative energy to flow through you. The energy of emotion is waiting to be given a voice, a name, a shape, or a color. Journal, finish writing that project, start something new, paint, sing, dance, and don't worry where any of it lands. It has its own plans for you. Your Muse knows where this is all meant to go. For you, the big magic is in the experience of answering the call. So yeah, some of you are really on the artistic path, and for others of you, the line answering the call is probably the most important of that whole passage, that whole reading from the Oracle. So I'm going to leave you to reflect on that one. So that's all I have for you. Sorry, there's yelling going on. I'm trying to focus on what I was just about to say. Okay, yes, my extended reading is happening right now. I'm going to move on to the extended reading. It's going to be on Ko-fi. The link is below. And in the extended reading, I do practical magic and everyday alchemy, which we're just going to identify some crystals and some colors and some daily rituals that you could do to support you through this time, the next 4 weeks, and to integrate all of these energies. So until next time, Sagittarius, North Node, stay well, stay blessed, and take care of yourselves. I'll see you in October.